Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Charlotte from At Charlotte's House. As you can see, I have a beautiful fabric in front of me and I'm gonna do something fun with it. Stay tuned. I was sent this beautiful fabric by my friend Bari. It's part of her new Indigo and Aster line. I will link to it in the video description, but I'm really excited to make one of my favorite sewing DIYs. I am not a sewer. I can kind of sew a straight line, and I was able to figure this out years ago, but now I'm gonna share it with you guys on video. I think you can figure it out. I love it. For the first step of this project, you need to figure out your letter and you need to mark the letter on your fabric. I'm gonna do an L for my daughter Louisa. It's a super easy letter to make because it's all straight edges. I think I'm gonna make my L about 4 inches. So I'm gonna ultimately cut out L's that are 5 inches because I want about a ½ inch on either side to allow for the seam. I use a pen that is a sewing pen, so the minute I give it a little squirt of water, it goes away. And I tend to be kind of lazy when I sew, so I'm gonna use this edge right here, and I'm gonna use this edge right here, and I'm not gonna bother marking either of those. Now I'm gonna cut this out with the fabric just the way it is because this way I know that I'll have the right side of the fabric on either side of my letter. All right, now I need to make the sides of this letter, and I think I want the pillow to be about 3 inches thick. So again, I'm gonna cut a strip that is 4 inches wide to allow for a seam. I'd like to use one continuous strip of fabric for the side of this pillow, and I measured the circumference of the letter L, and that's 56 inches. So I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to get that from one single cut, so I'm gonna cut out some strips and I'll sew them together. Now, I haven't given too much thought to this pattern because I'm not really concerned about that for my pillow, but I certainly could have centered the letter on this circle. So that's depending on your pattern and depending on how you want the finished product to look. That's something that you could give some thought to, but I sort of like the haphazard quality of just having the pattern sit anywhere on the letter. You'll notice that I'm not using my ruler for this section, and I should be, but this pattern actually is a pretty easy pattern to cut because I know I just need to keep going straight through that same part of the pattern and it'll be a straight line. So I'm just eyeballing it. This part of the project is pinning the pillow together, and I hope you can sort of see what I'm going for. So this is the letter, and then this is the strip. And so the strip needs to go along the side of the front of the letter, and then it needs to go along the side of the back of the letter. So I'm making essentially a stuffed letter L. So I'm putting the right sides of the fabric together. This is basic sewing, even I can do this. And where it gets a little tricky is at the corners. But here's the trick. Because this continuous strip of fabric is going around the corner, what I'm gonna do is, this is my letter L, so I'm gonna fold this corner over like so, and then this is sort of a cheater way of wrapping it around. So I'm gonna sew, I'm gonna pin right here, and then that's gonna give me, can you see how that's sort of wrapping around the edge? So I'm gonna show you again. I'm gonna fold that corner over, and then this is the strip. That's just gonna go right there, and that should give me a nice tight corner along that seam. Guys, I'm sure there are 100 ways of doing this that are better and neater and cleaner, but this has worked for me, and again, I'm not a seamstress. It works for me, and I like the finished product, and that's the deal. So the corners are the only thing about this pillow that's a little bit tricky. And again, I am sure there is a proper way to do it. Here's how I do it. I go as far to the edge as I can, keeping the fabric sort of straight. And then I go back a little just to lock in the fabric. And then what I do is I lift up my needle, get this pin out of there. Also, no comments on the age of my sewing machine. It's super old. So now, I'm gonna pull it out. I sort of hold the fabric kind of like that, and then I'm gonna go straight across. And it means I'm gonna have a little pucker at the corner, but it's not gonna be bad, and I've done it the same way on every corner. And then I just twist, and I can find my straight fabric again. I wanted to show you the first part of the letter, so you'll see that I've sewn that strip around the perimeter of one side of the L, and so now I'm gonna pin and sew the other L, and then I can turn it inside out and stuff it. Super easy. Here's the finished product. I left this one seam open for stuffing, but let's turn it inside out so you can see how amazing it is. How cute is that? So now I'm gonna go to the store, I'm gonna get some stuffing, and we're done. Here's how the pillow looks so far. And I picked up some of this, what is it? Just polyester fill, basic polyester fill. Now I'm gonna break it up into little bits before I stuff it, because I don't want it to be lumpy. And I left one little hole here. So I'm gonna start by working this into the far corners. Fluff it before I stuff it. So this is the only seam that I need to sew. And I'm just gonna sew it by hand right around there. My L is finished. It is not the most complicated sewing project you're gonna see, but I think it is super cute. I think it's a nice twist on just a basic pillow, and it's a really fun way to highlight gorgeous fabric like this. I also like to imagine a whole couch of letters that might spell a name, maybe initials. They're really easy, and I love it. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Have a great day.